all of us gathered here should never forget the famous admonition of the iconic Jamaican reggae star Peter Tosh, when he said, and I quote, "Don't care where you come from. As long as you're a black man, you're an African."
President of the Republic of Ghana.
I want to welcome you to Maximum Impact with Jay Cameron. Thank you for joining me. And guess what? Another exciting episode. We're talking about how Good Morning America shined the spotlight on the country of Ghana, located in West Africa. And for those who don't know, that's where we take many people through Ghana and introduce them to the culture. Many people who are part of the African diaspora. It's called the Gateway Experience. And so when GMA decided that they wanted to shine the spotlight on Ghana, I was curious about how they were going to do it. And I really think they did a good job. I think with all the narratives that we have seen over the years, we've seen the narratives about the Tarzan, about the sick babies, the whole deal when it comes to Africa. And we don't understand, many of us have not been taught about the diversity and really the rich culture that it presents itself all throughout the continent. So let's go ahead and get started. And this is what they showed today in the USA about Ghana.
Let's go back to Robbin, live in Ghana. More than 33 million people live in that country, and just recently, an influx of Americans have moved there. Hey, Robbin, don't tell us you're moving. I'm not accepting that.
Michael, many people are coming here to connect with their history. 65 years ago, Ghana gained independence from colonial rule. Ever since, it has been leading the charge in innovation and development. Ghana, with its echoing drum beats, rich rainforest, expansive beaches, and deep-rooted history, is now ready to take center stage.
Tonight, the Global Citizen Festival comes to Ghana for the very first time.
Host Danai, Gurira, welcoming 20,000 fans in person. Audiences tuning in worldwide. The Global Citizen Festival. Why was it important for you to take part?
It's always been about celebrating activists who are doing amazing things across the globe. The gathering of even the talent that was here. There's been so much amazing attention to African artists.
Could it be something to do with Black Panther? Why do you feel it had such an impact?
The world was ready to really take in Africa in a whole new way, in a way that shows our specificity, our excellence, our diversity, our coolness, you know. It really gave an esteem to the continent and an attention from the world that I think it was ready for.
It's Ghana's mission to thrive as a cultural hub and tourist destination, but also as a place to call home.
I'm happy here. I feel a sense of alignment. I feel a sense of fulfillment. I think just as a Black American coming to Ghana, it's a return home.
An estimated 5,000 Black Americans have relocated to Ghana over the past 2 years.
To Ghana.
Including podcast host Demetria L. Lucas, who says she feels the excitement of possibility.
You see that there's cranes in the sky, literally, like they're building the city. And for me as an artist, like I can feel the energy. I feel like I'm living in the middle of a renaissance.
And a renaissance is exactly what African leaders on Cape Coast hope to create.
We are looking at Africa without borders. It's happening. The future is Africa.
It's never gets old.
Influenced in part by the success of Marvel's Black Panther, proposals like Wakanda 1, envisioning bustling futuristic cities that honor the history and embrace what's to come.
We want to make sure Wakanda 1 city is futuristic. It's a sustainable energy city. There's hope for change. And we have to teach our children to empower people using technology.
That innovation is something artist David Alabo is also exploring.
It's really cool to look at these names.
Two artists sharing their love for culture.
Tell me about this astounding piece of art.
I was thinking about how can I reinterpret classic tarot cards in an African perspective. And obviously, like, I had to put the Black Panther in because those movies have been a massive inspiration for me.
Here at the newly built Freedom Skate Park, creativity flows through this space designed to connect the young people of Accra to the arts.
Talk to me a little bit about this wall.
This wall includes all the names of everybody who has helped create this place, from Virgil Abloh, may you rest in peace. We had Kendrick Lamar here the other month, and obviously you here. It inspires us, you know, when you come and you see what we're trying to do as well.
Oh my goodness. I'm back now with Danai, and I love how you were trained on the monitor watching that piece with such pride, because you know that people are seeing Africa now in a different light.
Yeah, I mean, that is really, as I was telling you yesterday, Robbin, my whole adult life, I mean, when I moved to the United States at 19, I've always wanted to, like, just turn the camera a little bit towards the continent, because there's so many brilliant people. Every time I come here, I get blown away by people like David, and so many more people we'll see today. And it really, really is so exciting to just have that happening. And you know, the aspect of how the film might make people look more to the continent, and how, you know, it's what was already here.
Right.
It actually, the movie is inspired by the real.
Not the other way.
Not the other
way around.
No.
And we saw, though, that Wakanda 1, the futuristic city.
Yes.
What is your hope for the future of Africa?
Oh gosh, that's almost an emotional question. I mean, there's so much that I just want to see the continent and its people allowed to fully realize their potential, and it's happening more and more and more. And the more it happens, the more powerful this continent becomes, and the world cannot ignore it.
No, they cannot. Well, thank you so much.
Let's go back to Robbin.
Well, I'll tell you like this, you know, I appreciate Sister Rock and her natural, it's a beautiful thing to see. I tell you, you know, that one thing I realize is that we have to use what we have, especially in a world that's largely not controlled by those who have the best interest for the African or the Black narrative, whether it's on the continent, whether it's in America, the UK or Canada or South America, or wherever. People of melanated complexion, the broad global narratives have not been positive. Normally, if you hear about Black Americans, you hear about the crime and the poverty and sickness in many parts of our communities, but there's so much more to us than that. That's just one aspect of it. And it's a brilliant people that have that's a melting pot of so many different cultures, and same thing in the UK and same thing in Canada and South America. But when other people control the narratives, they have the resources, they control the airwaves, that can also shape how someone sees themselves.
We also see countries in Africa like Ghana, Kenya and Uganda amongst the fastest growing economies in the world. Countries that Britain deliberately underdeveloped, stole resources for and brutally enslaved its people.
You gotta love the honesty from a member of parliament, a black woman, Ribiero Addy. She gave a wonderful speech. I want you guys to watch this. We'll come back and discuss a little bit more about what she said.
Madam Deputy Speaker, whilst we spent years debating Brexit, you know that India surpassed the UK to become the 5th richest economy in the world. India, a former British colony where this country presided over a bloody partition, the Amritsar massacre and the Bengal famine. We also see countries in Africa like Ghana, Kenya and Uganda amongst the fastest growing economies in the world. Countries that Britain deliberately underdeveloped, stole resources for and brutally enslaved its people. Madam Deputy Speaker, were you aware that in the mid to late 1700s, over 50 members of this House represented slave plantations? Members of Parliament, just like me, enslaved people that looked just like me. I'm someone who firmly believes that the only way you can tackle an issue is at its very root. And the racism which I and many others in this country face on a daily basis has its very root in these injustices. Not only will this country, my country, not apologise, and by apologise I mean properly apologise, not expressing deep regret. Not only will they not apologise, they have not once offered a form of reparations. Now, people see reparations as some kind of idea of handing over large sums of money, but why could we not start with it today? Simple things like fairer trade. Simple things like returning items that do not belong to us. And simple things like cancelling debts that we have paid over and over again. And I believe the reason for this, Madam Deputy Speaker, is because we only apologise to our equals. We only make amends with our equals. So I have to ask, how can I be equal to every other member in this House when this is how this House treats people that look just like me?
We love to see it. It's always nice to see our people in the position of power, because when you don't have a seat on the table, what usually happens is you're neglected, you don't matter, you don't exist. So people being in these positions help the world to see things differently as well, because at this point in time, UK doesn't even want to admit they've done anything wrong. They haven't apologized, as she said. They say deeply regret. Same thing with Belgium. They say deeply regret. Same thing with France. Because they know after they apologize, they know what is coming. When you're apologizing for something, you're accepting you did something wrong. And the fact that they're not doing that tells you that they have no plan in giving reparation to those they have enslaved, to those they have colonized. And I'm so glad she mentioned it. Whether they like it or not, they have done something wrong, and we always have to pay for the things that we have done. And this is the world. That's how it goes, both like individually or like as a country. What goes around comes back around, and sooner or later they will have to correct the injustice that they have caused millions of people. Anyways, fam, let me know down below what your thoughts are about this speech. I am Wangil Zalalam. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
brothers and sisters to the Black Econ Network channel. I hope you are well, hope you got your shot of the corona vaccine, and you're also hiding from corona, just like I am doing. My name is Neville Farkey, and I am the coordinator of the Black Econ Network channel and the Black Econ Network.com website. I am introducing myself in this video and the purpose of planting this channel, and in a future video, a person who is my assistant will make a separate video to do a further introduction of us who are involved at this time, and I hope that you will participate in the growing of this video because of this channel, because the approach that we are using is to get your participation and for you to be on the channel even more than I am exposing. We want to invite you to submit videos of your business ventures, your activities, so that we can post them, we can put them on the channel to promote whatever you're doing in your communities, whatever will help to improve the condition and the position of Black people in their communities and in their countries where they live, and in other ways as much as is possible.
Suddenly, you left me alone by myself.
I want to mention briefly that we want this channel to be both informative and entertaining, or certainly not just a drab channel giving information only. So we consider it as econ infotainment network, and when it comes to even entertainment and sports, we will look at the business side of it, which is a part that we are weakest in, although most performers and athletes are, in many countries, are African, Black people, but the business side, that's where our weakness is mainly. So we'll give little bits of what we call infotainment information, also some economic business news from different sources, different places. A little bit that I want to, almost like a little quiz. What country has the most Rastafarians? What country has the most Rastas? And I will give the answer later in this video.
realizing that the conversation about the children of Africa needed to take place on the continent, he sponsored the first ever Pan-African Congress that was held on the African soil. He said, after listening to the cries of children of Africa in the diaspora, when you heads of states were transitioning from the OAU to AU, you took that into consideration. And that's after also you had also answered that call. And in 1994, 20 years after President Nyerere, you also sponsored the 7th Pan-African Congress, which was held here in Kampala.
The idea of return to Africa, even the whites were sort of pushing that sort of line when they no longer needed the slaves. That's how they created Liberia. Liberia was created to get rid, because now the black people had become now, I think they were getting worried that they may become an internal problem when they were no longer needed, and the concept of getting rid of them came up. Therefore, I think it may not be correct to abandon what they built in that land of the Indians, because they're the ones who built that United States, wherever they are, United States, Brazil, the Caribbean. They're the ones who built those economies. The capitalism was built by them. They are free labor. They are free labor. So therefore, saying that they should give up that land and come only back here, I don't think that's correct. But we should arrange that those who want to come back without abandoning,
right?
Without abandoning.
Cooling on a couch, watching TV. So I'm feeling nothing but lazy. Feeling to somebody, nothing else to do. Might as well go to the board and drop something brand new. Living on the dice, throwing shit down. Making me hard to the sound. About to stop. Hungry, then I'm up for the plug now. Cause I found out you liking it. Don't you want it back? Don't you want it back? Don't you want it?
On that subject, the videos that we'd like you to submit are any information, or most of the information, would want it to suggest that you try to make it very interesting, not just informative, but also interesting, so that people will watch it to the end of the video. And of course, we'll send the guidelines. We'll give you the guidelines once you reply and say that you are interested in submitting videos about your business or project or economic activities that will help primarily the Black people in your community or in your country. The second thing is that I will give to the first 10 subscribers and the 10 people who join the network, and I will explain later. People know what subscribers, and you know what who the subscribers are, which is subscribers to the video, to the channel, but also people who join the network by going to the website. I'll give the first 10 people in each category an electronic version of one of my 2 novels. The first one is the African version of Hamum and Tarzana, historical novel. And the second one, historical novel that deals mainly with racism, turns the Tarzan story a different interpretation of the Tarzan story. And the an unexpected visitor arrived, which deals with a different theme. It's written for a low budget movie, and I'm hoping that even at some point in time somebody will make a movie from one or both of these books. That's been my dream, and maybe the main reason why I moved to the United States in the first place. The other free gift that I can give to the first 10 subscribers, and it is one item, one thing or the other. The third thing is a CD, music CD, done by one of my sons. The title is Freestyle Party Groove. So I'll give, and it's the electronic version of these three items, one of each. Sorry, one or the other of these three items. Just want to mention that if you do a search for Neville Farkey, you will find these two books on Amazon, electronic versions of them on Amazon. And if you search for Omaro Farkey, you will you'll find the CD where you can get it. I mentioned them partly to indicate some kind of business activities in which I'm involved. These are not the primary or the only activities, but it's part of introducing myself, and I will go into more details later that my involvement and my training and my growing up and so on has to do a lot with business and other economic kinds of activities. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your contacts. Thank you.